now stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first we'll start off with the consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the consent agenda as presented, including approval of minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on October 11th, 2021, approval of the proposed accounts for payment, approval of budgetary receipts and expenditures for October 2021, approval of Committee of the Whole minutes October 26, 2021, approval of option students.
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Janet. All right, Jason, you had something for secretary business?
Treasurer's report, very quickly. Bills posted for the month of October were $662,668. Payroll, $1,734,969. Total expenditures, $2,397,638. Revenue for October was $907,754. So when we look at, and if you recall in September, we didn't give much of a revenue report just because we were still trying to get through everything, but in September, our revenue was $4,061,544. So when you compare revenue to expenses at this point, we're in the positive $500,253. So that's just a quick year to date, and we're in the positive so far, so that's a good thing.
All right, thank you, Jason. Anybody have any comments or questions before we vote? All right, can I have your votes, please? All right, that is approved. Next up, we have outstanding recognition. Dr. Nielsen, you have Employee of the Month.
We're going to turn it over to Mr. Alexander.
Okay, so we are playing a little bit of catch-up. If you recall, last month we did not have our Employee of the Month because we wanted to trick him into being here, and he couldn't actually be here due to a situation that came up. So we are going to honor him tonight. The Employee of the Month in October is Mr. Jason Suter. So Mr. Suter, if you would come up. As I said, we tried to trick him last month and it didn't work out. So today we just called him and said, hey, we need you at the board meeting at least for the Employee of the Month. Mr. Suter is, come around here if you don't mind. Mr. Suter is all things Beatrice. He attended and graduated from Beatrice, taught in Beatrice, and is currently an administrator in Beatrice. He is a true Orangeman. As a leader, he provides a welcoming environment for all the students and staff. Whenever teachers ask him if they can return something new, they always get the support of Mr. Suter. Whenever they ask him if they can try something new, they always get the support of Mr. Suter. There are times I am sure that he wondered if it would work, but he always supports his staff. He encourages and helps his staff to become the best they can be. He encourages his staff to develop professionally, encourages them to attend conferences, and provides professional reading opportunities to his staff as well. Jason truly cares about his staff and their well-being. His door is always open, and he is always willing to listen. Mr. Suter stands at the front door and welcomes students each morning. Mr. Suter listens to and allows students opportunities to do things they feel are important. He will visit with students and listen to their concerns. If reasonable requests are made, he will try to make things happen. He can be seen talking with students at lunch. Mr. Suter can identify students with needs, and he will ensure they are taken care of. He has helped purchase bicycles, eyeglasses, deodorant, and many other items needed to help students thrive at BHF. He will remove any obstacle he can to ensure a student's success. Mr. Suter will go above and beyond to do what is necessary, what is the best for BHS. Mr. Suter has served as a principal for 21 years, close, and has seen lots of changes. He is willing to change with what needs to be done and embraces change as well. Mr. Suter is fair and enforces rules and expectations of students and staff fairly. I feel lucky to have had such a kind, caring, and compassionate administrator. We would like to congratulate Mr. Jason Suter, October's Employee of the Month. All of these things are true, as submitted by
Congratulations.
a teacher at staff, on staff, to recommend Mr. Suter, but before he sits down, I would just add a couple of things. And as a superintendent for 10 or 11 years, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of principals. And I don't think that I've worked with one that all of these things are so very true. He is compassionate, he cares about his staff, he's always willing to adjust things to make things work for our district. And a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit in on a parent meeting with Mr. Suter and see how he worked with the parents through a situation that was one that the parents needed to be heard. And they were heard, they were listened to, a resolution was made at the end, and it was a positive outcome for everyone involved. So I can attest to that personally, that his effectiveness goes far and above and beyond what a lot of normal administrators do. So we're excited, and I'm excited to have had the opportunity to work with you. And this is very well deserved, and thank you for all you do for our students and staff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now we'll have November Employee of the Month, and Mr. Hasty will be doing that one.
Means you gotta come up.
I
I
thought
thought
we'd
we'd
have
have-
employee the month row now, but you guys can speak.
I thought we would have to convince her to come as well, because this is, if you listen to Jody's classroom,
Closer to the mic for the audience at home, pretty please. Thank
All right.
you.
if you come to BMS, you look in the mornings, music is bumping, and Mrs. Fakeler's hallway, she's got a lot of energy, she's a great staff member, but I don't think this sort of element is necessarily hers of being in the center of attention in this way, because she just puts her head down and does a very good job. So we're going to give a kudos to her as well. So Mrs. Fakler is an exceptional teacher. She is unbelievably dedicated, arriving to school to start the day before 7 o'clock on most mornings. Jody is a yes person. She selflessly sacrifices her own time to help others without hesitation. This is not something that just occurs just once in a while. It is the norm for her. If a resource teacher needs a classroom teacher for an IEP, Jody volunteers. If a teacher is sick, Jody jumps in to cover before and after school duty. She does this with a smile on her face day after day. Jody is the type of person every school building covets. Her attitude is always positive, and her energy is contagious. The school has implemented the house system, and Mrs. Fakler has championed the cause. She is one of the inaugural members of the Ron Clark Academy Committee, is 100% dedicated to this project. As one of the first staff members to visit RCA, her energy has been vital to the development of this system at the school. She's excited and supportive at all times. Students are excited because of her energy level and the innate ability to motivate. They are drawn to her. This is because they know she genuinely cares about them, while still holding them to a high standard both academically and behaviorally. Mrs. Fakler is a team player. She is also on the school improvement team, a position which is a perfect fit. She thoughtfully makes suggestions and responds to other staff members' ideas. As a member of her PLC and 8th grade team, she works with colleagues to develop units and lessons. She shows up to meetings prepared with ideas to share. Jody is one of the most well-spoken professionals I've ever worked with. She has a way with words. This is an enormous benefit not only for staff members, but for all the students who are lucky enough to have her as a teacher or a house leader. She models an elevated level of thought and communication, which is exactly what our students need. In the classroom, Jody plans engaging lessons. She studies and reflects on best practice and is constantly implementing new lessons or strategies. She is never afraid to try novel activities. Jody cannot be accused of just teaching the same lessons year after year. She tries to constantly improve in an effort to meet the needs of every student and to push them to learn. We're thankful to have such a strong teacher in the district. She definitely deserves this award. we would like to congratulate Miss Jody Fakler, November's Employee of the Month.
Congratulations.
We need a picture of you two. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and that leads us on to Business Friend of the Month. Who's gonna take this one?
Yeah, it's me.
All right.
And I would ask Jesse Boley to come on up or come on down. Our business friend of the month is the Homestead National Historical Park. The Homestead National Historical Park has been a great friend to our district throughout the years. They have provided the students in Beatrice with many opportunities to explore the history of Beatrice, our nation, and the important role the Homestead Act of 1862 played in the development of America. The Homestead has provided students with opportunities to learn about the Homesteading Act. Our fourth grade students visit the Homestead year after year. The Homestead provides educational opportunities to enhance the Nebraska curriculum and standards addressed during this year. During summer school, the Homestead provides opportunities for students to explore the amazing features of bats. Students understand the natural habitats of animals native to Beatrice in Nebraska. Additionally, the Homestead provides opportunities for 8th grade students to learn about water as they put on their boots and pants and head to the river. Our government students have visited the Homestead and participated in the naturalization ceremonies. The after-school program has been provided opportunities to expand their STEM understanding while on the prairie. All of these opportunities have provided our students with hands-on opportunities to support the standards and curriculum. And one of the things that probably is limited in the number of opportunities that they provide, because there's so much more that we could go on year after year after year, I think that our students have been there constantly from the first day I walked into this district. Rangers have also been willing to create programs to meet the individual needs of Beatrice, including providing a program for the Working Wednesdays project for the after-school program. In addition, high school English teachers have gone with their classes to participate in the writing workshop and or take their classes individually to talk about Nebraska authors and draw inspiration from the tall grass prairie. The Homestead also provides many other great resources that help our students connect the dots to our heritage in Beatrice. They are truly an integral process in the education of Beatrice Public School students, and we are grateful for this relationship. So thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you,
Picture. Jackie.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to the information portion of our meeting. Student update, Connor Hamilton.
Okay, so didn't get anything from the preschool this time around. Also bear with me, I'm coming off a cold right now, so I might sound a little weird. But so Stoddard's got some big news. Mr. Jansen gave me permission to talk about this here. So Stoddard Elementary has won a drawing from Small Towns Matter, United Healthcare, and Nebraska News Channel 5. Schools selected are awarded a bike helmet for each student, as well as $2,500 check to use towards improving the school. So they're going to be broadcasted live on News Channel 5 on November 18th at 10 a.m. So that's awesome for the kids, and they're going to be presented with their bike helmets there. So that should be a great experience for them. Lincoln is doing well, and kids are learning a lot. Moving on to Paddock. The 4th and 5th graders present their patriotic music program tomorrow at 7 in the Hevelone. The music is uplifting, and rumor has it Uncle Sam will be appearing on stage. So, plans are underway for their community pantry food drive in early December, and then plans are also underway for their Christmas caroling for the week of December 13th. So, moving on to the middle school. BMS will host a Veterans Day assembly on Thursday morning. Basketball season is underway, and both teams are off to a good start. And then their student council is preparing school service project, the Christmas wish list, to begin in late November or in early December. So then moving on to the high school, we're transitioning into our winter sports. Fall sports have wrapped up. Each team had a great season. Parent meeting was tonight, and official practices start next Monday. So just to kind of dive into those specific sports, wrestling is beginning their condition week this week. I've heard a lot of complaints about that, or blessings, whichever they choose. Both basketball teams are having open gyms before and after school. Both teams are looking good for this winter. Swim and dive team is getting ready for their season. Band wrapped up their competition season. They had a great season. I think they got a lot of great ratings at these competitions. So, leadership has tons of projects going on. There's a volleyball tournament this Thursday for canned goods. I'm not sure exactly where those are going to. The bake sale is on Sunday at the mall from 1 to 3, benefiting Blue Valley. And then we're also having a toy drive on December 3rd at our home basketball games that evening. Also benefiting Blue Valley. And there's other projects happening. Stay tuned for announcements on those. And then this Thursday morning, we also have our Veterans Day program, band and choir to both perform at those. So that should be awesome. That's all I got.
All right, thank you, Connor. Next up, we have Committee of the Whole, Mrs. Martin.
The Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting was held on Tuesday, October 26th. One of the first things on the agenda was Mr. Alexander recap the financial options that have been discussed in regards to a new pre-K through 5 building. He also talked about the idea of partnering with ESU 5 to create this agency. And we'll hear more about that later in this meeting. Dr. Nielsen shared that MAP testing data was recently released, but NSCAS data, I don't know, what is it, NSCAS data is still embargoed. She explained what a percentile means and that the district's goal is always to be in the 50th percentile, as that is considered average. Dr. Nielsen then used a PowerPoint presentation to provide an update on the strategic planning process, and that she said the entire strategic planning committee would reconvene on November 2nd to review the plan, and it would also be shared with staff on November 3rd. The meeting concluded with Mr. Alexander informing the board that the district had received 2 quotes or requests for proposals for a traffic study. Olson provided a quote for $14,500, and JEO Consulting Group projected one for $9,200. And Mr. Alexander said he plans to seek advice from the city on each of the proposals. That ends my report.
All right, thank you. Do you have anything on the stance report?
Actually, no, there has not been a stance meeting held since the last report. Our next meeting is next Tuesday the 16th.
All right. School and Community, Mrs. Byers.
The Board of Education School Community and Staff Relations Committee met on Friday, October 22nd at Paddock Lane Elementary with board members Erin Chadwick and myself present. Students from the 4th and 5th grade classes performed 2 musical selections, the Star Spangled Banner and 50 States, for the board and staff members. And Connor stole my thunder because their program is tomorrow night, and they were awesome, so they're on my list of places to attend tomorrow night. That was really fun. The Ron Clark Academy House program continues to be very successful. All 8 houses have a community partner for their house. And a lot of the meeting revolved around the possibility of a new pre-K 5 building. Lots of questions on the financial piece, lots of questions on the building itself, and we did tell them that we are in that process right now. And that no decisions have been made. The next School Community and Staff Relations Committee meeting is scheduled for Friday, November 12th at Beatrice Community Preschool.
Thank you. Okay, this is a time for public forum, citizens requesting comments related to the agenda. Is there anyone who wished to speak tonight at this point? did you have something you wish to?
All right, as you've heard, we have several Veterans Day programs taking place this Thursday, one at the middle school, one at the high school, which are always very neat events to attend and see the recognition for our veterans. Tonight, however, we have on our board a veteran who is amongst us that has served as a Marine Corps serviceman, and we would just like to take a moment to recognize him and appreciate him for his achievement and service to our country. So, Mr. Book, if you'd stand up, please, we'd like to thank you for your service.
I appreciate that. It was an honor to serve.
Thank you.
All right, was there anyone else who wished to speak at this time? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the discussion portion. Superintendent evaluation. Everyone has gotten their evaluations, so at this time, if there's anything on there that anybody wished to discuss, if anyone wanted to go into exec session to discuss anything, if there's anything that would be related that would harm reputation, then we would go in, but otherwise, was there anything anybody wished to discuss in regards to the superintendent evaluation?
I think the one thing that I liked this year was the exec summary. That was nice. Kind of pulled everything together and it was a little bit more easier to read.
I think it was nice using this model again. I think there are some indicators that we could maybe omit for next year that maybe don't seem as relevant for Jason's position since we have Jackie as well. But overall, I really like this
And on
evaluation
those,
form.
make a list of things that you didn't think fit, didn't like, or things that were missing, and then let me know, because I've had people commented on the same thing last year, but they wanted another go in order to see if they really didn't like it. So this will be the second year, and the NASB has, I told them I'm going to be contacting them on that, so they're expecting it. So
Perfect.
if anybody has anything they didn't like or want changed or want to add, let me know so we can make it more our type of thing. So we will be going, approving this in December at the board meeting. Along with the superintendent's contract has to be approved in December. If it is not, then it rolls over, and he's automatically approved for another year. So we're going to have the negotiations team get together and discuss compensation for the next year and his package, and we'll discuss it with the board during the committee of the whole, if we have one. Is it still up in the air?
It's scheduled currently for the 23rd, if
Okay.
needed.
And otherwise, we'll be bringing it to you in December and looking to vote on it at that point. So, anything anybody else has for superintendent evaluation they wish to mention? All right, move on over to the action portion. Can I have a motion for 8.1?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 suspend the second reading of policy and to adopt the entire board policy series 6,000 through 7,000 as presented, and to repeal and rescind all existing board policies in Article 6 and Article 7 not specifically set forth and included in the newly adopted board policy book.
All right, I have a motion by Doris. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Aaron. All right, Mr. Alexander.
Not a lot to add to that, just that in the previous two committee of the whole meetings, we've been updating policy. These two sections, the 6,000 and 7,000 articles, you've had a chance to review and look through. I think we've cleaned everything up to the point where it's ready for approval, so take that taking that step tonight, we'll have those ready to go and in place.
All right, any comments or questions on this?
Well, yeah, I do have a question. It talks about rescind the current Article 1 and Article 2, but what I read was rescind all existing board policies in Article 6 and Article 7.
Those are the ones that that we're rescinding is Article 6 and Article 7.
Okay.
All right, anyone else? Okay, can I have your votes, please? All right, that is approved, 7 votes. Next up, 8.2, can I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the strategic plan for the next 5 years, 2022 to 2026 as presented.
I have a motion by Doris, can I have a second?
Second.
By Aaron. Dr. Nielsen, you are up.
I don't have much to say. I've talked a lot at the committee of the whole, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. But I will tell you, it has been an awesome process that we have gone through to develop our strategic plan for the next 5 years. As you look at the strategic plan, there are a lot, as Mr. Trustee pointed out, there's a lot to do in it, but it really is visionary. It really is helping to push us forward. I would like to thank all of our community, the staff, the students, our parents, our teachers, our administrators. We had a lot of people that, one, gave input to help drive this process. But also we had a lot of people that sat on board on the strategic planning team and helped us continue to figure out where we need to go. We had an awesome leader as well. I know I've used probably awesome, fantastic, but I will tell you I'm very excited about our strategic plan. Dr. Matt Domney did a wonderful job of really driving the ship forward and keeping us focused and keeping us moving to where we need to go. So we would ask that you approve the strategic plan unless you have any questions.
Well, apparently you didn't need to talk much more.
I know.
You handled it so well last time. All right, hearing no questions, can I have your votes, please? All right, that is approved, 7 yes votes. Next up, 8.3, can I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the agreement with JEO Consulting Group Incorporated.
All right, I have a motion by Doris, can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. All right, Mr. Alexander.
Just briefly, I did have both proposals reviewed by the experts at the city, street administrator, street superintendent, and city superintendent. Both took a look at the proposals and provided advice. And at the conclusion of those discussions, we determined that JEO was the best bid to go with. It's also it's $9,200 versus the other bid, which was $14,000 some. So it's cheaper, but we just felt like JEO is a fresh set of eyes on the project and will give us good feedback on what will be needed to be done, if any, which I would anticipate there'll be some things that need to be done, but JEO is the one that we all felt provided the best option for a street analysis for out at the new site where the new elementary school will be. So,
Anybody have any questions in regards to that? Okay, hearing none, can I have your votes, please? All right, that is approved, 7 votes. Next up, 8.4, can I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the Interlocal Cooperation Act agreement creating the Southeast Nebraska Education Agency with ESU 5 and authorize the superintendent to execute any documents or take any other reasonable and necessary action to enter into the Southeast Nebraska Education Agency on behalf of Beatrice Public Schools.
I have a motion by Doris, can I have a second?
Second.
Janet beat you to it. All right. Mr. Alexander.
Okay, not a lot to say to this one either, just that this is the interlocal, using the Interlocal Cooperation Act, approving the partnership between Beatrice Public Schools and ESU 5 to formulate the Southeast Nebraska Public Education Agency, in which this will allow us the opportunity to go ahead with a financial plan for the new school building. So creating this agency, it's like bringing two public agencies together, and then through that process we can create bylaws, which we'll start working on here shortly, and then meet to discuss how we want to go about formulating a financial plan for the new building. And under that new partnership that's created, that new agency, we can go out and secure bonds to be able to move that project forward.
All right, any questions for Jason? All right, can I have your votes, please? And that is approved, 7 votes. All right, next up, approval of resolution. Can I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the resolution as presented. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of Gage County School District 15 as follows. The board has reviewed the need and desirability of additional and improved educational facilities within the district, and hereby finds and determines that it is in the best interest of the district to join with Educational Service Unit Number 5 to provide for the creation of an interlocal agency pursuant to the Interlocal Cooperation Act for the joint ownership of certain educational facilities. The interlocal cooperation agreement presented to this meeting is hereby approved in substantially the form presented, and the President of the Board is hereby authorized to execute said interlocal cooperation agreement creating the Southeast Nebraska Education Agency with such changes and amendments to said agreement as shall be determined by the President of the Board. The Board hereby appoints the following individuals to serve as the district's representatives on the Board of Directors of the Southeast Nebraska Education Agency: John Zimmerman, Jason Alexander, and Lisa Pieper. Such individuals shall serve as directors of such agency under the terms of the Interlocal Cooperation Agreement governing the Southeast Nebraska Education Agency, adopted this 8th day of November 2021.
All right, I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Aaron. All right, Mr. Alexander.
Basically, this resolution just formalizes the previous motion to approve the creation of the Southeast Nebraska Education Agency. The resolution just has to be read to reaffirm the fact that the board understands everything that's taking place and vote on it. What will happen from this standpoint is the 3 members that are appointed here will join with 2 members, assuming ESU 5 that's voting on these very same documents and motions tonight, will join with them to formulate that agency. And then we will meet in the very next week or so to, as I said before, lay out the bylaws and continue to pursue the financial plan moving forward. Bring that back to you as a board to vote on and have final approval for that financial plan once it's all in place. So that'll take a couple months to get going, but the agency then will be formalized. The resolution just is a way to make sure that everybody recognizes and understands what they're voting on.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Jason? All right, can I have your votes? All right, that is approved. All right, that ends up the action portion. Now we'll move on to administrators' reports. Superintendent report, Mr. Alexander.
Just 4 brief items to update you on. You will hear us quite a bit on the radio in the coming weeks. We are, like many school districts and businesses across the state, we are experiencing very severe workforce labor shortage. And so we're trying to get the ads out on the radio and anywhere we can. We have positions from full-time to part-time custodians, paraeducators, and those are half-time and full-time as well, nurse position and kitchen staff that we are in desperate need of. Like many businesses across the nation and other schools, it's not just Beatrice, because we had a meeting about it this morning via Zoom, and many schools are experiencing the same thing. So we've got several ads going out on the radio and social media to try and find people who are willing to come in and work and help us out in those areas that are mentioned, so you will hear those coming. The first meeting of the new Southeast Nebraska Education Agency will be Monday, November 15th at 11:30 a.m. And I will send a reminder of that. I think the meeting will either be here at ESU 5, but we'll let you know for sure. And then State School Board Conference is next week. And I just want to update everybody that Connor Hamilton has been selected to represent Beatrice and students across the state of Nebraska at the NASB Student Voices Panel on Thursday, November 18th at 2:15 to 3:15 at the State School Board Convention. So we're very excited about that. We think Connor will do an excellent job. As you can see tonight, he's very good about how he conducts himself and speaks, and he was selected amongst various applicants from across the state. I'm not quite sure how many are on the panel, but there'll be questions that Dr. Dan Endorf from North Bend will be presenting to the students, and then they'll get a chance to respond to those. So we have full confidence that Connor will do a very nice job. Congratulations on that selection, and thank you for being willing to apply for that. So we're excited for that. And that ends my report.
All right. With that, the next regular meeting of the Board of Education will be December 13th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the Administration Building. The Committee of the Whole meeting will be on November 3rd, if we have it. And an agenda for that meeting, which shall be kept continually current, is readily available for public inspection at the Superintendent's office during normal business hours. I would now take a motion to adjourn.
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 adjourn.
I have a motion by Doris, can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Aaron. Can I have your votes? And we are adjourned.